Hello and welcome. This is Nicholas de Castella. I'm really excited from the Institute of Heart Intelligence to welcome you here tonight for this Thrive Coach training. This is a peek into our practitioner level coach training that we run, and it's also an overview of the heart-centered approach that we have. And I'm particularly excited about stepping back and looking at the bigger picture of what's our part that we're playing in the evolution of humanity. And I believe that it's a really important part at this stage in our growth. And so, sorry, just mute everybody. And so I want to just pause for a moment. I've got this beautiful picture of the earth here and consider our position in this. And tonight is a preview, but it's also a process, a journey that we're going to go on together, and we're going to create some energy together, and we're going to connect in our hearts together. And so I'd like to invite you just to take a breath for a moment and just look at that planet, the picture of the planet there on the screen, and just take a breath into your belly and up to your heart, and give yourself permission to stop for a moment. Most of us are really busy in our day. We rush from one thing to the next, and this might be the first time in your day today that you've actually stopped and just taken a breath, a conscious breath. I believe that we're witnessing the evolution of humanity. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. And there's a birth of a new heart-centered humanity that's evolving. And the work that we're doing here is playing a role in that process, a positive role in that process. So just taking a breath into your belly and up into your heart. The beautiful thing about being in our heart is that we connect across space and time. So the people that we love, that are with us and that have passed on, that are together here with us or living other parts of the world, we can still connect to them directly through our heart. And one of the things that opens our heart is gratitude. So we just take a moment to think about the planet, everybody on it, how blessed we are. We obviously have a certain level of affluence and wealth, and with that, position and power and influence. We're very blessed to be in this place. And I think it's really great to be conscious of that. So breath into the belly and up to your heart. And then we're going to jump in. So as I mentioned tonight, we're going to have a look at the work that we do, the many levels of the work that we do, particularly from the coach side. And this is not a registration process tonight, but it is an opportunity to get an insight into this work. And then if you want to go further, then I'll let you know how to do that at the end of our evening. And we can set up a chat if you're interested in this. So tonight's for you if you feel concerned and maybe powerless about the state of the planet, animal extinctions, pollution, climate change, all these things, they're all around us. And I think they kind of get to us in the background. And then a level closer in is social issues and the society that we live in, the busyness of our lives, the isolation and loneliness, discrimination, inequality, the rich and the poor, still have massive issues that we're working with across the planet. And then even closer in, personal issues that we have. Most of us can tick at least one of these boxes, feeling stressed or anxious or depressed, having some sense of emptiness or being unfulfilled. Often people that I talk to talk about there's this sense that something's missing, that they don't feel happy, even though they know they have a good life. And I suspect that you're here on this call because you know somewhere deep down that there's more for you. There's more for you to do. There's another level for you to go to. And all of this kind of doom and gloom talk can get quite heavy and be overwhelming, I think, at times. And so I really want to turn the tables on that and hope that you feel inspired by the end of the evening at least. And that's my purpose tonight, is to inspire you to be part of this evolution of humanity. I was looking up the Avatar movie last night. It happens to be the #1 biggest box office sales of movies in all time, and it was, I think it was $2.7 billion. And if you're a fan of this, there's another movie coming out at the end of 2020, so I have to wait nearly 2 years for that. But the theme of that was very much about connecting to the planet and the people that fought for that. And so I really like that analogy of being an avatar of change. And so I believe that the heart-centered work that we do can help heal the root cause of the planetary crisis. And I'm going to talk about that briefly, just touch on that, and hopefully, you go away and think a bit more about this and realize that it's actually, it's quite an optimistic process, actually. I think that we can gain inspiration and hope by becoming an agent of change every day, no matter what you're doing. If you're a husband or a wife, a mom, a dad, a partner, a friend, the people that we connect with in our everyday life, we can have a positive, heart-opening influence on that, and that makes a difference. Through this work, we connect more deeply to ourselves, to others, and to life. And we get to feel good about ourselves doing something that's important, that makes a difference. And ultimately, what we find with people who come and connect to their heart is that they find their purpose and they live a life that's fulfilling by following their heart. And that's my story. I've been on this journey of conscious living and heart connection for 27 years now, and I've really created a dream life. I have a beautiful, passionate, loving relationship with Susan, my wife. We've been together for 20 years now. We've got 2 beautiful boys, Charlie and Alex. We're surrounded by a really loving and supportive, heart-open community. We live up in the Dandenong rainforest on the outskirts of Melbourne on 7 acres where we have our retreat centre, and it's just beautiful here. I spend my time giving presentations and talking about how to make the world a more open-hearted place. And as I mentioned already, I believe this work is part of a global transformation that's occurring. So just briefly, how did I get to be here tonight? Well, in 1988, I was struggling from chronic fatigue and anxiety, and that led me to do my first personal growth workshop in Canberra. And then I moved back to Melbourne, and I started to organise workshops for the guy that ran them up there, down in Melbourne. That workshop changed my life, and so I got more and more involved in it. And then 4 years later, I shifted from working as an architect to working full-time as a breathwork practitioner, which seemed like a strange shift, but in my experience, it's been a forward one. 1996, another 4 years later, we ran our first Passionately Alive workshop, and we've been running 5 to 10 of those a year since then, and so that adds up to, I'm not sure, about 100 or 200. I worked it out one day. It's a lot of workshops, 3.5-day residential programs. They're still running. We have one happening next week. In 1999, I ran my first breathwork practitioner training. And so that's been going 17 years now. And every year we've run a 1-year training. So I've run 17 years of trainings in a row. And in 2000, Susan and I, we bought our healing centre in Melbourne, where we had our base breathwork practitioner and coach centre there. And that's still going today. And then 2004, things seem to happen on fours here. I never noticed that before. But we bought our healing centre up here in Hazeldale, and we just love living here. 2019, then to today is 27 years later since I first did my workshop, actually since I first started working as a breathwork practitioner, and I reckon I've done over 10,000 sessions, so I've been around the traps. And as I mentioned, a dream life has really unfolded for me, and I'm really passionate about this and inspired to share the message and this way of living from our heart, because it works. And the reason that I share about my life is to say, you can do this too. I'm just a regular Joe, and happen to be very lucky to have connected to my heart and been following that. And this wonderful life has unfolded, and that can happen for you too. We have a fabulous group of community and of friends that surround us. We do some kooky things. We do lots of fun things. We like to live alive, to be alive, to connect and really live life fully. So as I mentioned, I believe there's an evolution of humanity, and it's shifting to being heart-centered, and that the root cause of the planetary crisis is really that we've become disconnected from our heart, that we've gone and done too much thinking, and it has become imbalanced. And so when we do that, we look at the world as an object. We look at our body as an object, as a machine. We look at other people as separate from us, and we look at the planet as a resource that we can just use to our own ends, and we lose touch with the connection that we have to ourselves, to others, and to the planet. And so I firmly believe that no amount of solar panels, wind generators, nature reserves, reforms, protection laws, medication, intervention, counselling is going to fix this problem, because it's not an external thing. It didn't start outside of us. It started from a split within humanity, when we went into our head and we disconnected from what we're feeling, and from then on, everything looks like an object that's separate to us and that we can use to our own ends. And the crisis that we're facing is actually a wake-up call for us. And so there's a healing transformation needed. And so what we do at the Institute of Heart Intelligence is we help people reconnect from their head to their heart, or what we like to say, come back into relationship. And we do that by healing a pain, by opening our heart, and by coming alive. And that leads us back to connecting to the core of who we are, to our base truth. And that is that at the center of everything is love. And love is equated to oneness. So we're coming back to this sense of oneness. And from that place, we realize that what we do to somebody else, we do to ourselves. What we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. What we do to our body is part of who we are. And so when we come back into relationship, there's a natural shift in our attitude to everything. And so what we bring to the table here, I believe it's a radical shift, is a different way of relating, a different way of relating to illness, to challenges in our life, to everything, to other people and our society. It's holistic. So it's not just a cognitive process where we try to do mental affirmations or change our perception on things by changing the way we're thinking about things, because that's just kind of playing in the same problematic area. What we need is a quantum shift to shift from being cognitively orientated to connecting in our heart, and to joining our mind and our body and our emotions and our heart together, so that we can really be at our best in the human experience. So this is a non-pathological approach. And what that means is that it's not disease or broken or problematically orientated. Instead, when we come from our heart, we recognize that we're all on a human journey, and that has its challenges, and those challenges are not bad or wrong. They're opportunities for us to grow, and there are gifts that come from our wounds when we heal and when we have the right attitude to it. Another aspect of this new paradigm in transformation and empowerment is that the healing and the answers come from within. I was talking to a young lady yesterday. She's 25. She had a lot of anxiety. She'd been going to all these healers and getting stuff done to her, and she's just on the point where she's starting to realize, this is up to me to take control of this. This is something that I need to do. And so the work that we do here at the Institute of Heart Intelligence, when we're coaching people, is that we're empowering them. So this is not a done to you process. It's an education, and we as practitioners are more like guides or companions on the journey. And I'll talk a bit more about how we create change in a second. So what we do is we actually trust in this basic goodness in life, that there's a natural tendency to wholeness and happiness and peace when we let go of control. And so this was part of the conversation the other day. And so what we do is, instead of trying to heal or fix people, is we work on creating the conditions that are conducive for that healing to happen in. And the thing that affects that the biggest is the quality of our presence. Okay, so our presence is our embodied awareness within. How present in this moment and in our body we actually are. And at the Institute of Heart Intelligence, we equate presence with love. And the quality of our presence is the transformative factor. And the beautiful thing when you come from this idea of basic goodness and grace and presence is that you let go of all the doing, the strategic doing that we're doing with our mind. And we realize that when we get into that doing thing, we're trying to fix something or somebody or fix ourselves, we're actually using our ego, and we're going away from that natural current of goodness that's available to us. And so this is very much a surrendering process. And so in this coaching model, this new coaching model, we realize that it's a quality of our presence that affects the transformation process. And so what we do is we work on healing ourselves first, okay, because our wounds keep our heart closed. And so a big part of all of our trainings is a personal transformation of the coach. The opposite of that is going to university, where you would learn a whole lot of information but actually don't have much personal transformation. And so we balance education and transformation, and the emphasis is actually on the transformation in our programs. And then the last aspect that I want to talk about briefly tonight is mystery. And mystery is something we often struggle with because we think that we're supposed to know the answer all the time. And nobody got good marks at school for not knowing the answer. And so mystery involves surrender and having no agenda. Okay, and so that sounds really weird and quite ineffable, quite hard to get a handle on, something that we really have to practice. And through the process that I've just outlined, we start to get more confidence in letting go of our agenda, letting go of what we think should happen or needs to happen, and instead just opening up our heart and trusting in the process, in the moment. And strangely enough, that's usually the fastest empowerment route that we can go on. And so I like to call that the pathless path. And Pema Chodron, a Buddhist monk, a friend of ours, she says that Buddhism, the purpose of Buddhism is, it's like a boat that takes you across the river. But the problem is that halfway across the river, the boat dissolves. So we get going, we think we know where we're going, but then as things unfold, we realize we're actually letting go of what we thought we knew, and we're opening up often to something that's much more beautiful. So, you know, what does it take to be a great Thrive coach? And the first prerequisite, I think, is that you've suffered. And when you've suffered, then you become a caring, empathetic person who likes to help other people that are suffering. Our compassion comes out of our own suffering. And so basically, the more that you've suffered, the more compassion you're going to have. I get it, not universally true, but when you heal that pain from your suffering, you actually have a real open heart to when you see other people going through that, and a natural desire arises inside to help them to short circuit that suffering. Another great thing to have experience in is being alone. And if you've had times in your life when you felt really isolated or alone, then you're going to really appreciate connecting with other people heart to heart. And that's turning those wounds into gifts. And it also helps to have felt empty at times, and just what's the purpose of life, you know? And if you've been there and you've experienced that, then I just saw the comments in there. So if you felt that depth of emptiness inside, then you know what a meaningful way of living is, by contrast. And when I stopped working as an architect in '92, I stopped working for money, and I started doing what I love and trusting that life will look after me. And that wasn't a cognitive thing. It was much more a visceral thing, where I got to the point where I just couldn't keep doing something that wasn't really lighting me up inside. And that's really, really worked. You've been stuck is a great attribute to have as a Thrive coach. And if you've been stuck, then you're going to be passionate about your own personal and spiritual growth. And because the quality of presence affects the people in our life, you have to walk your talk. You have to be doing your own work as you go. And in fact, I'll come back to this in a minute, but being a coach, a breathwork coach, is the fastest way to accelerate your own growth, because you're immersing yourself or every day in your own process, because your clients will come to you and they'll mirror things in you and they will trigger things in you, and then you have the tools and the skills to be able to process what gets activated. And so you're like in this bathtub of personal growth. So it's a real fast track to self-actualization. It's great also if you've been lost. If, you've had times when you really felt alone and didn't know where you were going, you were directionless, then you're going to have a lot of compassion to inspire people and, in fact, to see and nurture their greatness and want them to blossom and flourish. 5 great starting points to be a Thrive coach. It's a real honour to be a coach. We talk about it, think about it as a profession, but actually it's a blessing for me. And still doing sessions 20 years on, every time I go in the room and I sit down with people and they open up to me and they share from real depth, I just feel really, really blessed and honoured in that. And so it's there's a lot of fringe benefits in this, and we get to give from our heart, be present as a channel of love, create a space, hold the space. We be a channel for change. This slide advances itself, so the Spirit's got hold of this one. And so we get to be of service to Spirit. We get to go deep and surrender and let life really on the edge unfold through us. And, a good Thrive coach is available to be moved by others. And what that does is it opens us up. It keeps opening us up and opening us up, so we become bigger and bigger vessels for love to flow through us. So, you know, it's just the best thing that for me that I could do with my life. So what we've done at the Coach Academy is that we set up 4 levels of training, and the first one is core clearing certificate in the pink there. The second level is the Thrive Pathway coach. The third level is the Breathwork coach, and then the fourth level, last year we started a group practitioner and facilitated training. So we have a whole spectrum of different levels of coaches that make up our faculty. So I want to go through those first 3 levels tonight. And the first one is the core clearing process. And this is a process that evolved out of coaching, life coaching people on the phone, helping them all around Australia and around the world to get breakthroughs, to clear their emotional blocks. And the beauty of this process is that it's very gentle. You can do it with anybody, young kids, old people, in your house or on the other side of the world. Somebody said the other day to me who makes a living from doing the core clearing, they said the beautiful thing I like about core clearing is that it always gets an outcome. And so this is a fabulous process that's heart-based, not head-based, that helps people to gently clear their blocks that are holding them back and get guidance from their heart for moving forward. And so there's a whole range of different issues. Most of them are based around well-being that we work with the core clearing process. Stress and anxiety, relationships, finding direction, moving forward towards goals, accelerating healing, just moving forward in life. And this is a beautiful process, and this is the first level when people come and see us that they engage with. And when they do the core clearing training, they get a handbook, they get a script, which they can just follow the script, and it takes their client all the way through to a breakthrough. And there's brochures as well. So that's a little pack that we've put together. And if you want to become a core clearing practitioner, then the requirements are that you need to come and do Passionately Alive, which is our 3.5-day training. So when you're there at the training, you will learn the core clearing process as well as have a big personal breakthrough in that. The regular fees are $2,970 for that, early bird $2,470. And if you haven't done PA and you're on this call, then I'd like to offer you a special deal for being here, and that is of $1,970. And you can book that deal by going to eq.net.au, which is our main website, and then go to the Passionately Alive page and enter the discount coupon PA500. And so those are the dates, the next 3 Passionately Alives, February, April and June, and they're all on the website. So you can hunker over there and have a look. There's a lot of information about that. So once you do the core clearing process, then the next level on is the Thrive Pathway training. And this is all about a process we've put together, a 5-week process to help people to get back on track to living the life that they love. And so it's designed to get them congruent with their values and their aspirations, and to create balance in their life. And we create a Thrive plan, which is about finding joy in your life. So this is a little package that people can do, and it's a great way to really make a significant shift in people's lives. So when you do the Thrive Pathway training, then you get the handbook, client worksheets, an email sequence to send to your clients, an enrollment script again. So that's to help when you're talking to a new prospect, to get them to sign up and understand what the benefits of doing the process is. And our coaches often sell that program for $497. So that's a great, simple little package that really, really gets people clear and aligned. And the requirements for that are to attend Passionately Live 3 times as a participant first, and then to refresh it, and then as an assistant trainee. There's 2 practitioner training days in that and a couple of assignments at home. It's not majorly heavy in its way. And then the next level on from that is the coach training, and that's the Breathwork coach training. We call it the Genuine Success Program. That's a 10-session program of empowerment, and it helps people to really go deep and clear the emotional baggage that weighs us down and holds us back. And again, that covers a whole range of different areas in our life. The Thrive coach training tends to go deeper than the core clearing. And so it's a bit more intense. And so core clearing is a nice way to start people out. And then often we'll lead them in. Once they get the hang of doing the emotional healing work, then they can go deeper with the breath work. So the full Thrive coach training, which actually includes the other 2 levels, is a 10-month life transforming journey. And so you get to do like a total life review in that process, and clear your own path so that you can have more open heart and a more loving presence. There's 5 modules in this coach training, and they are alchemy, conscious creating, authority, becoming empowered, doing our inner child healing work, authenticity, which is about manhood and womanhood, and awakening to love, heart-centered relationships. And then the 5th module is spirituality, actualization. Each of these modules is 3.5 days, and there's a practitioner training day that goes after each one. So those are the 3 levels that you can attend to become a coach. And so you can easily step into the first one and experience that, do the core clearing training, and you can use that if you're already a coach, or if you'd like to help people around you, your family, your friends, clients. We have a lot of personal trainers who do the core clearing to help their clients get breakthroughs when they get stuck at a level. So it's a really useful thing. The coaching package includes a whole gamut of handbooks and handouts and workbooks, and it's a whole business in a box that's done for you. And it comes with a whole business development side. Here's a picture of Susie at the Breathwork conference in 2016. And so the business side includes the Breathwork skills, the coaching session skills, the counseling skills, the business building skills, and marketing skills. So the format then, just to review that, is there for level 1, level 2, and level 3. And when you complete level 3, then you're qualified to join the Australian Breathwork Association and obtain professional indemnity insurance and set yourself up as a regular, genuine practitioner. You can work from home, you can work from a clinic, you can work. I've traveled around the world doing sessions, and so it's really, really flexible. It's a great way to live. Here's another one of our coach trainings there in the picture. And these are all the dates, and the dates are on the website as well. So if you're thinking about this, then you want to think about what's the investment and what you can earn back on this. So if you do 4 sessions, 10 hours a week, breathwork, you can easily charge $250 a session. That would equate to $1,000 a week, and you can pay for the full coach training in 14 weeks doing it that way. Plus, you can earn $150 a session doing core clearing on the phone, $497 from the Thrive Pathway. And once you become a practitioner, we set up an affiliate program, which is if you bring other people in to our work, then we give you a thank you payment of $500. So some people use that to help to pay for their training. So this is a life transforming group that will support you and meet you and receive you and honor you and hold your hand when you need it and pass you tissues when you need it, and you'll be laughing and singing and dancing together. It's a really hearty, all-in kind of a process. You'll be part of a circle of love, of people who really want to be real and show up and engage with an open heart. So what you can expect in this is that you're going to blossom into a heart-centered being, to live with more enthusiasm, more gratitude, more joy, and more ease. And become an inspiring coach and inspire the greatness in others while you're building a thriving business. And join our heart-centered community and make lifelong friends. So, special bonus when you sign up for this program is that you get access to this 10 teachings and 10 meditations that I've put together. This program, they're 1-hour teachings and 20-minute meditations on each of these major heart qualities. And so if you're keen, if this is ringing bells for you, you're interested in learning how to set up your own coaching and heart-opening business, and you'd like to help others on the journey, then what you need to do is just send me an email at nicholas@eq.net.au. You'll have that address in your inbox because you probably got an email from me already about tonight, and then I'll contact you. You can put your phone number in there too, would be handy, and I'll give you a call and we can set up a time to have a chat. Okay, so it's that easy. So we have a whole gamut of lovely friends and heart-centered people who are making a difference in the world around us. A couple of those are on the call tonight. Teresa, Cassandra, and Sue Bosch, I can see there. Teresa is working with empowering women, particularly after recovering from domestic violence. Louise Wigg down the bottom left works with women again on healthy body image. And Kevin there in the middle on the left down there is a celebrant, and he's a country man. He works running men's groups as well. And Jean up the top in the middle there is a conservationist who's making a huge indent in the world in the conservation area, helping people to run their programs and getting international awards for her programs. And we've got Anne Hubbard up the top right there, who runs Emotional Intelligent Parenting. And then Mel Behrens Macaulay on the right, who is a personal trainer, and she helps people really, I guess, get into great shape, not just physically, but emotionally as well. And she runs a Celebrate You program, which is awesome. And Mary down the bottom there lives down near the beach, and she's a real whiz at helping people get out of chaos, get clarity in their lives and move forward. So this is just a little sample of the kinds of people that we're surrounded by, and we'd love to have you come and join in to this community and support you in making a difference in the world. So the real key that I found in finding happiness and fulfillment is actually being in service to others. And the personal growth journey really comes into its own when we start to give back. At the start, we come into personal growth to heal some wounds and some blocks, but really it's in the service of others that we get bigger than our ego, and we find that sense of deep happiness and fulfillment inside. So that leads to self-worth and fulfillment. As I mentioned, you get to skyrocket your personal growth. You get to enjoy the freedom lifestyle. You generate probably about 8 times what the standard basic wage is per hour. So you generate good income for less hours work, and you get to be your own boss. So you enjoy the flexibility of working your own hours, and best of all, you get to make a big difference in the world by making it more loving, more open-hearted. So if you've enjoyed this presentation tonight, if you've come along, you're looking for something to do to go to the next level, with your time in your life that you want to give back, then don't let your life go by. Don't live half a life, you know. This is it, you know. Susie just waving at me in the background. So if you're keen, if this is interesting to you and you want to explore it a little bit deeper, then send me that email and I'll set up a time for a chat. So I've tried to keep this condensed tonight, so giving you a good taste. If you'd like to know more, we do have a prospectus about all of this that I can send you, so it's got all the details in there. So just mention that in the email and I'll send that back to you.